In 9 days, we've got National Signing Day on the 21st. USC currently has 19 hard commits, 14th ranked. And certainly, again, we will review recruiting and so forth. Don't need to do it here in terms of any individual pursuits. But what is your take on how the class is shaping up and how you expect it to land?
Well, I'm not like a recruiting expert and an insider, but I would say that like if there is a priority for USC and like if the Trojans want to get something really significant from this recruiting class, I know enough to realize that USC has struggled to recruit 5-star offensive linemen. Like that has been the big drought going back to the Clay Helton years. And so like USC really needs to land a 5-star offensive lineman in this cycle, because that really would say, hey, we are raising the bar, we're improving our standards. That is certainly something that USC needs to walk away with. By the time we get to February, USC needs a 5-star lineman on the recruiting trail. But on a larger level, you look at what Lincoln Riley and Alex Grinch were able to do in the transfer portal, and like that's such a game changer in college football. It was a game changer for USC, and so it does take a little bit of the centrality away from recruiting specifically, because if you can find, the big reminder about the portal is that you're not taking a raw prospect, who is a blank slate and just is unproven at the collegiate level. No, you can get quality veteran guys, like a Bobby Haskins. Like USC is not in a New Year's Six bowl. USC does not make the Pac-12 championship game without Bobby Haskins. That was an absolutely essential pickup in the portal, in addition, of course, to Caleb and Jordan Addison and Travis Dye. But like the USC really needed Bobby Haskins to make this whole thing work when Cortland Ford got injured. And other guys were also banged up, and Josh Henson had to mix and match and shuffle guys along the offensive line. Bobby Haskins was holding down the fort at a level that Mason Murphy and Gino Quinones were not able to do, and we're not going to be able to do. So, the portal is still, a prime focus. Like that's where USC can get game ready players like an Eric Gentry, like Shane Lee, and the defense, as bad as it would have been even worse if Gentry wasn't there in the first half of the season, and if Shane Lee wasn't making big plays against UCLA and Notre Dame. So like the portal is still a big focus, but in terms of recruiting, it's getting that 5-star offensive lineman so that what if, when will this happen? USC needs to knock down that particular question, settle the score so that the fan base and people in and around the program no longer have to wonder when that's going to happen. So like that to me is if there's one thing that USC needs on the recruiting trail, it's that, because you have the skill position players. Lincoln Riley really doesn't need to worry about that particular part of the operation, but it's getting that elite offensive lineman and really elite lineman, period. Like if it's a 5-star defensive lineman, that'll really work too, given that Tuli Tuipulotu was often by himself, and we saw Utah's offensive line handle USC's front four in Vegas. Like USC just needs to get a whole lot tougher. And so just on a broader level, it's all about recruiting on the line of scrimmage, recruiting up front. That's where USC needs the most reinforcements by far. I mean, we saw really the toughness deficit come into play when USC went up against Utah. We saw the rugged identity and the hammer-like physicality of the Utes, and that was really the kryptonite for this USC team in 2022. So like that is the message. Like Utah hopefully sent USC a very helpful message about where this program needs to go in 2023.